Indian Summer 2018!
Welcome, all you people.
All you Indian single malt whiskey lovers.
Yeah, this is a good one. These are some interesting whiskeys we've been reviewing in the last couple of weeks here.
We actually took a long time to get onto the Indian whiskey ourselves.
We did, and we took our time with it, though.
We have been drinking Scotch and bourbon and whiskey for a while, but we have really only been really getting into it for the last couple of years and buying a lot of it. You know, back in the day, you used to kind of get that bottle you like and just buy it over and over again. Now, we rarely ever buy a bottle twice.
Oh, yeah. So, I haven't bought the same bottle twice for a long time, unless it's something sort of cheap just so I can...
Your Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah, my go-to just to have in the house. Yeah.
So, I think for us, we kind of were getting our education on Scotch and bourbon for the last couple of years. And then here and there, hitting up some other things. And now we've really kind of got into Canadian. Being Canadians, we didn't even drink Canadian whiskey.
No, it was kind of off the radar, really.
Until this year.
Yeah.
And then we got into Taiwanese, and now we're getting into Indian.
Yeah.
This has been a great education.
Absolutely.
So Indian Summer has been a great education. Hashtag Indian Summer. Hashtag Trenny and
Or pound.
Check us out on Instagram.
Okay. We've got the...
Use the pound key.
Yeah. Use the pound key.
Pound key Indian Summer.
Okay. Amrut Indian Single Malt Whiskey, aged in oak barrels, cask strength, 61.8% alcohol. You guys stick around for this little diddly, and we'll get back to you with this one.
Yeah.
Trenny and C, drinking whiskey, describing all the flavors for you and me. Irish, Scotch, bourbon, and rye. If they like a bottle, they'll tell you why.
Okay, here we are. We got the lid. The lid's popped. We've got the box. It's popped.
That box did say Jim Murray gave it 94 points.
I guess we got to read it once in a while.
If we want to teach these people
Jim Murray's
anything.
Whiskey Bible says it's 94 points.
Sticker.
And let's just say right now, let's get it out of the way. We don't always agree with what he has to say. In fact, we rarely agree. Listen to this pop.
Perfect.
Let's get pop.
I don't think we've ever agreed with anything Jim Murray said.
Yeah. So what was the percentage on this one again?
61.8.
Ooh, that's a high percentage, and a lot of these, I know you people are thinking, well, you'll add water right away, which, you know what, this is one of those whiskeys that actually takes water quite well, and a decent amount of it, but we will give you the notes on it, tasting it neat, and color, nose, taste, finish, and viscosity. We'll get to all those kind of categories.
Oh, sure.
This one, what did we get for the color on this one?
The color on this one is dark golden. Wait a minute.
Golden Knights.
Do you know what's hilarious about my tasting notes? It says dark golden light amber. How can it be dark and light at the same time?
Hey,
I'm going to go with...
medium.
It's some level of amber.
Yeah, it's, you know what, it's, again,
It's
we've
not
said
particular... You know what? I lined up these 6 Indian whiskeys next to each other, and they all kind of looked similar.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of how much E150A have they added?
Yeah, and there's nothing on this saying that they haven't, or that it's natural color or non-chill filtered or anything like that. So there's, hold on.
Whoa.
It is non-chill filtered and comes straight from the barrel in its natural color.
Well, there you have it.
Wow, okay.
Okay.
So...
Sorry
Sorry
about
Amrut.
that.
However, it's interesting because they don't age it very long, so it got a pretty nice color for it then.
3-4-year-old whiskey.
Yeah. So for that's got quite a nice color. However, having said that, like the United States and Kentucky,
Right.
Their bourbons have to be natural color,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are only aged for 4 years or so, and the color on those whiskeys is incredible.
That's true.
It has a similar not similar climate, but they are warmer
Hot, yeah.
places.
It can depend on the char of the barrel, too,
Yeah.
right? Is it toasted? Is it charred? Is it alligator charred? Is it number 4? Like, what is it, right?
So, and another thing with that is, the expansion and contraction in the barrels is a little bit more extreme in the hot to cold temperatures.
For sure.
So, for example, like in Canada,
In Ontario.
or in Ontario, where they have sweltering summers, it goes into the barrel like crazy, and then in the winter it sucks out.
Freezing. Sub-zero temperatures in the winter.
So, and that kind of ages it a little bit quicker. Anyways, moving on. Let's go to the nose here.
Okay.
So,
61.8.
And it is.
It's got a 61.8 nose.
Yeah, it does. There's a lot of those vapors. Like if you dig your nose into that and you're not accustomed to cask strength whiskeys, this one might actually put you off a little bit.
Yeah. But it does have a wet grass. There's definitely some hay kind of flavors in the nose here.
There are, but there's some also like these summer fruit, like apricot. There are some nice light summer fruit flavors, not like the dark fruits, but light.
There's also caramels to it. There's also some spice. There's also a little bit of tobacco. There's a decent amount of stuff happening here, but in some cases, hard to get that through that 61.8 punch. That's the thing.
True. You should be extracting a lot more flavors.
Fight through that to find the flavor,
I'm actually, do you know what a note that I've never really smelt in a whiskey before, and I'm getting right now, is like a sweet potato or like a yam kind of a flavor in there. I don't know why, but it just reminds me of it's. Like
I don't know why either.
But it's a little bit earthy, like.
Yeah.
But it's also, the sweetness isn't quite like a honey or a vanilla. It's got like, I don't know, like a carrot sweetness or something to it, which is a weird note. I've never had that in a whiskey before.
I'm almost actually getting that. Now that you've said it's the power of suggestion. But yes.
It could be, but I also, this is one of those whiskeys I've decided tonight to not have notes for it and go, I mean, I've tried it a handful of times, but...
Are you saying that it's farm fresh?
It's farm fresh, absolutely.
Farm to table? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get to the taste.
Okay. So again, 61 point whatever is...
61.8.
Yeah, pretty strong.
So, the first thing on taste is... It's vaporizing.
That is a... sometimes these cask strength ones are amazing, and sometimes they are... I don't want to say this is bad, but it's so in your face and vaporizing right away that you do need to add water. And I am going to add water right away,
you should.
actually.
I do have a bunch of tasting notes I'm going to get into, but...
I'm adding about 20% water.
Yeah, you probably should. Yeah. I do have a bunch of tasting notes that I'm going to get into, but one thing I do want to say is this bottle here. Look at the fill level on this here. You can see it's 80% of the bottle, 75% of the bottle is 75% of the bottle is still there.
Yeah.
We bought this bottle more than a year ago.
Yeah, quite a while ago.
And in the universe of Trenny and C, 1 year a bottle should not look like that.
No, it should be further down.
It should be like down here in our universe. So what that tells me is that regardless of what score we give it or what the tasting notes are, it hasn't been a choice bottle for us.
No.
It has not been something that we've chosen to revisit. Hey, we sit here and we'll binge film, 6 videos or 8 videos or whatever, and then after that we go to the library and we have a little tipple off of a few bottles. We try a few things and we kind of revisit some whiskeys. We try some for the in advance of doing the videos. This one we just kind of stayed away from, and I remember going back to it myself a few times trying to be like, what was it about that one? And every time I'm like,
it's the heat.
Too hot.
It's the heat. It's very, again, not aged very long.
No. So there's
high strength.
youth and heat.
Yeah.
Which
So
are two bad combinations.
now, having said that,
Yeah.
I just added a good, like, probably 2 or 3 tablespoons worth of water to this.
Right.
Or 2 tablespoons. And once the heat is calmed down and you get some of the actual flavors,
Right.
not just that blast of alcohol, there's some nice notes in there. And it's not as bad as I remember.
Yeah.
However,
Okay.
in their natural presentation, you still want a whiskey this was an expensive whiskey. This was like in the $120, $25
Yeah, we
range.
split this one at like 120, 130.
So, you know, at the natural presentation, you want to be able to pour it into a bottle or into a glass and not really have to touch it. Now, one of the reasons that it's maybe hasn't gone down very far is because of that. You only have to put a little bit in your glass and you add the rest water. I don't know. That could be a positive. I'm trying to think of positive things here.
It's not terrible, but one thing that it does for I'm gonna. Okay, so I said it's not terrible. I prefaced with it's not terrible. However, it's heartburn inducing for me.
Yeah.
This is a type of whiskey which rarely happens to me, but almost every time that I take that first sip of this whiskey, I get an acid reflux heartburn situation. Right. So this is something that I need to drink at the end of the night because it will pretty much pretty much ruins me.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough. Like I want to like it, but I don't.
You're just coming straight out with it.
Yeah, I just don't really. I mean, it's not pleasurable to drink for me.
I would honestly.
There are some good flavors, but
adding the water really, really does help with this one. And we haven't even really talked about the tasting notes that much on this one.
I think burning is the tasting note.
It's still quite hot, but that first, like, there's like the beginning of the palate taste, the mid palate, and then kind of the end to the finish. And the beginning, with quite a bit of water in it, is nice. However, mid palate, it gets burny, and then the finish for me on this one is very dry. Like, it's really bitter, dry.
Yeah, it's
bitter. It's wood tannins in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, again, like a red wine that's a bit too bitter, or a bit too dry, I should say. And the flavors are nice, but they're just overwhelmed with the heat.
So shall we say, dare I say, that this is again a case where cask strength does not work. Where cask strength has failed us.
If this was bottled at 46%, it would probably be
pretty good.
Way better.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we should wrap this video up. We've talked about...
It's a sad day.
There's a little bit of
We're saying mean things here about poor Amrut.
And Amrut's highly regarded amongst a lot of people. And for good reason. I mean, India in general, they're relatively new in the market of whiskey.
Yeah.
And it's exciting some of the things they are putting out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more, just like other regions of the world where there's new distilleries opening up. I just hope that when they are releasing these whiskeys that they're not blinded by trying to just get them on the market.
Yeah.
And releasing them,
Which is something that happens to, the craft distilleries.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Okay, are we going to score this one up?
Score it up!
Okay. I gave this actually a 24. And I can't remember what you gave this one.
Let me check my notes that I'm not supposed to be. 23. So
really?
We're at a 23.5.
That's not great for $120 whiskey. But,
Here we are.
We'll have it in the collection for a while, so that's always nice.
Anybody want a sample?
Okay. Cheers. Check us out. Check out our other videos. Comment. Like our video in there. Whatever.
Like our Instagram hashtag Indian Summer.
All right. Cheers.
Cheersies.
It's so dead feeling. Let's do it.
That's better. You gotta hold it down there.
Yeah. Instead of